All right, well, my name is Christopher Burns. I am a counsel for AT&T concerning this 180-foot, what's called a stealth monopine tower, communication tower in Howard County. This is a pre-submission community meeting that, due to COVID reasons, had to be held virtually. It is approximately 6:47 on the dot, actually. The meeting started at 6:30. We didn't have anybody join. However, I think it would be wise to record the presentation, and this way we can possibly circulate it to the board or any questions that anybody has who couldn't make it. Hopefully this will answer them. So obviously this will be a little amended just because it's going to be me. I actually sent the rest of the team home, but here are our team members. If there's any questions from this presentation that I'm unable to answer, feel free to reach out to me and I will connect you with either Allison Helowitz, who's the project manager, Gaurav Bell, who is a frequency RF engineer, or Milan Dimitrov, who is the engineer. He's with Fullerton Engineering. So let's just do a quick high-level overview of the project. So essentially, AT&T is seeking approval from the Howard County Board of Appeals for a conditional use for a stealth monopine communication tower. And that will be located off of Windsor Road. The monopine will sit within a 50 by 50 foot compound and will be approximately 1,300, I think it's 1,350 feet from Windsor Forest Road. The monopole also includes space for up to 3 future wireless providers to co-locate. And further, the project does comply with federal, state, and local laws, as well as provisions within the Howard County Code, specifically Section 131, which pertains to communication towers. All right, so goals of this project. So this location of this facility was chosen for a myriad of reasons, including meeting AT&T's coverage needs to effectively supply wireless services. In this area, there is a severe lack of coverage in this region. And this monopole will remedy that, as well as boost coverage outside of this area too. This is specifically even, the last year has really shown the importance of improving wireless cell coverage, given these COVID and work from home times. The tower will improve not only non-emergency services, but emergency services too. And overall, it will just substantially improve in-home learning, work from home, and telehealth services as well. Another aspect of this tower is what's called the First Responders Network Authority. So I want to just spend a quick second kind of going a high-level overview of FirstNet. FirstNet was established due to communication challenges that occurred for the first responders in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. So in response to those difficulties, the 9/11 Commission with Congress recommended the establishment of a single interoperable network for emergency services to prevent situations where first responders cannot communicate with each other in a crisis scenario. After years of public safety organizations lobbying Congress, the FirstNet network became a reality in 2012. FirstNet gives a major boost in the access of first responders have to their communications. And all of AT&T's towers come with this or supply this FirstNet network. That is just a specific channel for first responders. All right, so let's get into what the tower will look like from various parts of the county. So let's just kind of go over this slide from left to right. So on the left, we can see the satellite view of the site, and the site is signified by that red pinpoint. South of that red pinpoint is a yellow arrow. It says point of view, and that coincides with the picture to the right of the satellite view, which is the existing view. So this shows the existing view as it is today without the tower. Now, I realize that this is not what it looks like today, late March, right? This was taken in the middle of summer 2020. Things were green, things were lush. Clearly, this isn't what it's going to look like today. That is not an intention to pull the wool over your eyes or anything. It's just that these projects have moved a little bit slower because of COVID. More often than not, we like to have pictures that correspond with the way that the site looks at the time. You know, with that said, though, in a couple of months, we should be returning to this lush green view, hopefully. So that's the existing view, and now to the right is the proposed view. And this is done by an architect, an engineer, and how they do this is they, and I'll get into it a little bit more in the presentation. But back in summer 2020, we went out to the site. We raised a red balloon up to about 180 feet, took pictures from all over the area to see if we could see that red balloon, where we couldn't see that red balloon. At that point, we took those pictures back to our architect, engineer, and they're able to do a mock-up and essentially put the tower where the red balloon is. So this is just a visualization of what it would look like from this point of view on Windsor Road. All right, here we have an overhead view of the project. So if we're looking at the slide on the left, and we're looking at the bottom right of that slide, you can see an arrow indicating north. If we move to the west of that arrow, you can see Windsor Forest Road. Now, what's branching off from Windsor Forest Road, this dark path, would be the access route to the communication tower, which would be right here. And as you can see, you know what, you may not be able to see because it's so small, but what this shows is the tower itself is 1,341 feet from this point on Windsor Forest Road. So you can actually see this is approximately the same. It's about 200 feet more. And this is the elevation view of the project. So here is a side view of the tower. It's 180 feet tall. You can see going up the tower, the stealth branches. And then at the very top of the tower, you can see where AT&T's antenna will be located. That's at what we say a rad center of 175. Below that are 3 additional potential co-locations for other commercial wireless carriers. So that includes Verizon, T-Mobile, and yeah, it doesn't necessarily stop at 3, right? Oftentimes we will see local jurisdictions, fire departments, local jurisdictions, police departments, what have you, co-locating, usually at a lower height. And this has just helped improve their communication services. All right, so I mentioned the balloon flight survey in the past, and I will get into various pictures taken from the area, but just to explain it, like I said, we went out in the summer of 2020, we raised the red balloon about 180 feet up in the air. About 30 pictures were taken all over that region. Those pictures were taken back to our engineers, and they were able to do a very accurate mock-up of what we can expect from those specific locations, what the monopole, self-monopole tower will look like. Now, we'll go through these relatively quickly. Oh, I do want to point out that there were, of the 30 locations predicted, of the 30 locations where we took pictures, only 8 of those locations where the tower was visible from. This isn't all 8. You know, we've got a pretty, we construe it relatively strictly, where if we can even see a little bit of it, we'll still take a picture. This is a really great example of that. You can barely see on the image on the right, the top of the tower, and this is taken right near Lou and Joe's restaurant on Ridge Road. Now here is a view from that would actually be east of the access road. It's about 1,500 feet away from the proposed tower. This is on Windsor Forest Road. Here further along, further east on Windsor Forest Road, here's another view. And then this is a little bit more south. So this is about 2,700 feet away from the monopole. You can actually see in the proposed view the tree monopole, as well as to the east, it looks like some sort of much larger lattice tower. And lastly, this is even further back on Windsor Forest Road. And then this last example is just to show you, you know what, I realized it would be helpful if it showed where the site is. So where my mouse is right now, this is where the proposed site is. And then all of the numbers surrounding it are places where we, once the red balloon was put up at 180 feet, we drove around this area, took pictures, see if we could see the red balloon. Like I said, unfortunately, nobody showed up for the meeting, but I do think it's beneficial to still record it. We'll likely provide minutes and hopefully put it up on AT&T YouTube or something similar. So anyone who's unable to make the meeting or had issues joining the meeting will have an overview of the site. From there, they are welcome to ask me, reach out to me or Allison for any questions or concerns regarding the project. Great.